Every weekend to hear the message of hope preached by Pastor Joel Osteen and his wife and co-pastor Victoria.
But in these tough economic times, hope for a lot of people is in short supply. Tonight, the Osteens, though, are bringing their message to Yankees Stadium for what they are calling a historic night of hope. It is the first non-baseball event at the new arena. Joel and Victoria Osteen are joining us this morning with a preview. Such a treat for us to have you here in the studio with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And what a big night coming up. And you've managed to sell out Yankee Stadium.
Yankees can't even do that.
Well, we just feel very blessed to be here, very humbled and just rewarded. The Yankees have been good to us, and you know, it seems like it's a time in our nation that we need hope more than ever. So we feel just blessed to be here.
And I heard that you beat out the Rolling Stones for the first non-baseball event at Yankee Stadium.
I've heard that rumor too. I don't know if it's true, but it sounds good.
It's certainly a great story. Absolutely, you might as well use it. You talk about the hope and people needing a little bit more hope now. I know there's so much talk about, you know, whether or not people do turn to their faith more in tough times. Victoria, is that something that you're seeing and hearing from people?
We really are. Our churches are growing. Our church's attendance is up, and I just think people want to find something other than themselves to depend on. And so they do turn to their faith.
How important to do something like this, though, at Yankee Stadium, over 50,000 people, open air. I mean, you host big crowds every Sunday at the church in Houston, but to come here to the Northeast and to do something like this.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, Chris, when we first were invited to come by the Yankees, by somebody in their organization, you know, my first thought was, why do they want to minister from Texas? This is not the Bible Belt. But, you know, it's amazing how the people of New York and this area have been very responsive and very open. I almost think sometimes they get a bad rap here being called and, you know, not religious or not spiritual. But, you know, we found just the opposite. Walking down the streets, the people are warm. I mean, they're filling up stadiums. So it's really a neat time. And it's just feels very historic for us that they did choose a ministry to be the first non-baseball. They could have chosen anybody, but I think to me it's just it's an act of faith. You know, I don't want to over-spiritualize it, but just in these times that we're living in, I think they realize that people need hope.
It's been interesting. In the past, I know there's been some criticism that maybe it was too light of a message of Christianity, or you're preaching too much sort of the prosperity gospel. And in these tough economic times, a lot of people saying, you know, I'm doing everything I can, and why am I not maybe reaping the benefits, which maybe they see those benefits to be of a more material nature. What do you say to people these days?
Well, you know, I guess the first thing, Erica, is prosperity is being blessed in your health, in your relationships, and of course in your finances too. We have to have money, but we encourage people with this to no matter what comes your way, God's going to give you strength to make it through. So don't get negative, don't get bitter, don't start blaming people, blaming your employer and things. We just have to take what life deals with us with an attitude of faith, and we believe that, you know, if you keep doing your best and keep believing, that God will open up new doors.
How have you been able to not change your approach? Because like Erica said, there has been criticism for there's not enough hellfire and brimstone in some of the sermons and whatnot, but how do you not change to cater to some of the masses that do want a little bit more of that?
You know what, I feel like I've been good at being who I feel like God has made me to be, and I've never condemned or knocked down people. Even before I was a minister, just playing sports, I was always the one that was encouraging people. So there's not a bone in me that can tell somebody that, you know what, you're a terrible person and you're not this, enough of this. My you know, core of my being is to lift people. Say, you know, no matter where we are, we can rise higher, we can be better parents and better fathers and overcome addictions and become who God's created us to be.
People know what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know, they want to know how to help themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like anything. When you help someone, children don't even do good in a critical environment. When they're encouraged and nurtured, we all do better. So that message has resonated with people.
And I know there are a number of people coming, not just from the New York area, as you mentioned, but also we were talking in the break a little bit. You have folks coming from your church in Houston, from all over the country, really, coming to New York for this event. What does that mean for you, Victoria, to know that all these people are coming to see you and your husband preach tonight? You know,
sometimes I think, do I really understand the impact of this? Do I really get it right now? Or am I going to look back and say, wow, that is amazing? And I kind of think I am going to look back, but it is exciting. People are coming from Denver, they're bringing their family, and it lets me know how really historic and important this really is. And so we're going to do our best tonight. We can't believe it's actually here. You know, it's like, okay.
We can't believe you're up this early on a day so long.
impressed.
Anything special planned aside from what you do on a week-to-week basis down in Houston that people can expect?
It is a little different, Chris, because we mix a lot more of the music, and we have special guests. Our little daughter, she's 10, she sings, and my mother's a part, my whole family. So it's a fun night. It's a night of inspiration.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here because we do know it is a long day. Tonight, Joel Osteen, Victoria Osteen at Yankee Stadium.